Hey, movie fans. So the first topic I'm going to discuss today is I watched that movie Hearthstone, and I thought this movie was pretty bad. I mean, Netflix has a just very track record with the original movies. They make a lot of great shows, but when it comes to the original movies, they miss way more than they hit. Like, I love the Adams Project. I love the Old Guard. I actually thought Always Be My Maybe was fun too. That kind of movie where Keanu Reeves played a DC version of himself. And I thought Irishman was okay, and I think I had that Western movie Power the Dog with Benjamin Comeback was okay. But it's like I can count how many movies on one hand that I actually love, and they just miss way more than they hit. So with Hearthstone, the only positive I have to say about this movie is Gal Gadot's fine in this movie. She's not the strongest actress in the world, but I loved her as Wonder Woman in the Wonder Woman movies. I think her best performance was in the first Wonder Woman movie. And she does have a natural charm too, and I liked her in the Fast and Furious movies. Again, not the greatest actress in the world, go that, but I think she's actually a better actress than people give her credit for. Again, not the greatest, but the main character is so like not very interesting or compelling, and she doesn't have any charm the character all that much. And if you put in a stronger actress in this movie, Hearthstone, it's still the character still wouldn't be compelling because the way the character's written is just not very interesting. And the story, I don't think was all that good. It feels like a bad ripoff of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part One, where the story was around AI, but a worse version of it, where the action scenes are so mediocre, CGI, and you can tell the green screen. And the other characters aren't compelling either when it comes to the whole team. And like I said, the action is just very mediocre. Like it's and like it, when I think of like even like a movie like the Shasta movies, I think are pretty poor when it comes to story and character. The one thing I give those two movies is that they have great acting. The acting in this is just very mediocre and like forgettable. And this movie does feel generic. It's like it doesn't do particularly anything new when it comes to spy movies. And like I said, the story's not good, so I can't recommend Hearthstone. Like this is an example where Netflix just I feel like they pump a lot of movies out on Netflix, but they tend to focus more on quantity instead of quality with the movies. But once in a while, they'll have a movie that I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I actually love that. We'll really enjoy that," and then they'll have mostly a bunch of crap when it comes to the movies. The next thing I want to discuss is Cobweb. Now, I went in this movie completely blind. I never saw any of the trailers for it. I heard a lot of people talk about it on YouTube, so I watched some non-spoiler reviews. But I didn't know anything going into this movie other than it was a horror movie. The positive with this movie is I think the main kid's good. I think the first half is really solid, and the actors when it comes to actors who plays the mom and the actor who plays dad, who he played Homeland in The Voice. I thought they were both creepy, you know what I'm saying? I thought they did a great job making them feel like you were creeped out by the parents. And it starts off with this really cool mystery where it had me really intrigued and really into the movie. And we say this movie's an hour and 28 minutes. This movie should have been longer. Because this is where it's going to get in. Because now I'm going to get into the negatives with this movie. Is that this movie kind of reminds me of Barbarian in one aspect, which is that I was way more into the first half of this movie than I was into the second half. Because it does, because when you find out, and there's gonna be some spoilers for this review, but you find out, like in the first half, he's talking to this girl behind the wall in the house. Now, obviously, you can tell his parents, like I said, are very creepy, unsettling, and they talk about the dad tells him a story about a girl who went missing. But the whole twist when you find out the girl in his wall is actually his sister, and they like locked her down there. She was born disfigured, and she even like one more positive. I like the score in the movie. It has this creepy score at times that I thought was looked really good. It has some, like I said, some good tension and suspense at the beginning. But when it gets to the point where he lets her out, it starts to feel like it has a bunch of plot holes and a bunch of things that don't logically make line up or make sense. And the twist is way predictable. When she gets released, I'm just like, oh, she's She's this monster thing that's gonna kill everybody. That's why she was locked down. It was like I saw that coming. Also, this movie falls into some jokes and like cliches from horror movies I've seen. Like the whole idea of this kid being picked on by this bully at school, this other kid. I was like, I've seen that in so many horror movies at this point. It's become cliche. And like I said, it I don't get why it brings up some questions about the parents why they would lock the daughter in the house behind a wall and not. I understand, like I know they were trying to by showing like the parents are bad and obviously the daughter's worse, but I don't. It still doesn't make sense why they didn't tell the son certain things, and just there was some stuff that I just questioned that didn't line up when it got to that point, and it feels like it gets ridiculous and just like over the top. And it also with the how when you see the girl and she's crawling around when she gets released, like I can understand why she has long hair and long nails because she's been in the behind the wall for years. But they like do like CGI on her face where she has like sharp teeth and weird looking eyes. And she'll bite when she comes out, she's able to like bend her body down and claw walls. And she apparently has super strength because she whips the guy's head off in one scene very easily. And it turns into this like supernatural monster movie, and I'm like, okay, she was trapped in that behind the wall like throughout years. Why does she come? Why is she somehow able to? Why does she have like super strength where she comes? Where it seems like she's more than human. And I understand some people can be born disfigured, but the CGI on her face looked really stupid to me. It actually made it look less scary. Like I liked it when it was like she had the long hair coming down and she didn't see her face. She looked more creepy that way. And then when you actually see the face, you're like that didn't look creepy. And also, and the reason why I say this movie's super long is because the way it ends is so abruptly. This has the worst ending I've seen in a film this year. Where it ends so abruptly. And the fight between her and this Tisa that's the substitute Tisa that comes in, that's worried about the main kid. She comes to the place towards the end of the movie when he calls her up, realizing that she's also realized that there's something wrong with the parents, and the parents get killed off early in the movie by the kid. When his sister tells him you gotta kill them, he uses like rat poison, which I thought was really smart because it's a reference towards early in the movie. But the fight between her and the kid and the sister, that's all like bending over backwards and crawling on walls. At the end, it was really short. And this is where I get into why I said the very end is just one of the stupidest, abrupt endings I've seen this year in a movie. Where the sister screams out that he killed his parents. And Atisa, they show a quick second to the camera where you see Atisa reacting, and they cut to the next scene where he's in his room, and you hear the voice of his sister saying, she says like when she gets trapped in the basement, this bottom part of the basement, that she says, this won't hold me forever. When I'm messing to get out. So they leave her alive down, and and also the bully comes over towards the end of the movie with some of his like cousins, family members, and he gets killed off. And again, I felt like you didn't need the whole like that character with with this other kid that was picking on the main kid, but they don't like bring that up about all the people that died. And they don't. And when they cut to the next scene after the girl reveals that he killed his parents and he's just like Ho and he's like screaming he's not like Ho, and he cuts to the scene where he's in the bedroom, his bedroom. You don't see the Tisa again, and I had to look this up. His parenting online it says that the Tisa takes him in at the end and raises him. And the thing I have a problem when it comes to some logical stuff at the end of this is that the ending cuts off at a point where she pops from behind the kid and the kid turns around and ends like that. And I also found some issues with why would they still live in that house if you had a bunch of murders that happen and she's not you didn't kill her. She says she's going to get out at some point. And I don't know if they fixed the teaser breaks his wall in his room earlier when she puts him in the behind the wall like she was. I don't know if that hole was still there. I can't remember. But they don't fix that. And also, I'm not sure if they fixed that or not, but if it is, I thought that was also another logical thing that didn't make sense to me. It's just the fact that everyone would still be in the house and just leave her alive. And she can just probably get out of that easily since she ripped somebody's head off earlier in the movie in the third act. But just the fact that Tisa just like I understand though they do a good job of making the kids parents when they die. You feel like okay, they deserve to die because they're like not they'll keep settling and they not good parents. But they never deal with the fact he killed his parents. Like he put rat poison in the soup to kill them, and they just cut to the next scene of him in his room with the Tisa not there after she hears that he killed his parents from his sister, and it just is like what it ends in such a abrupt way. I'm just like this is stupid. It felt like the movie should have been long, and it also felt like the writer of this movie got lazy towards the end. And I'm fine with some mystery in a movie. That's fine. But when it does these twists and turns later on in the movie, and I start to question some of the stuff that doesn't quite line up or make sense when it comes to the story. That to me is not good writing. And that's the thing about this movie that I feel disappointing. Like at the end of the day, I would recommend Cobweb. I enjoyed it, but this is a movie that had so much potential to be a great horror movie. It starts off really good, and then to me, the second half it goes downhill, and the ending is just so abrupt. Like I said, it ends in a way where I'm just like, "Wow, that's it. That was stupid." So at the end of the day, look, I would recommend this movie. I enjoyed it overall. This is a movie that had the potential to be great, and it didn't stick the landing. Next thing I want to discuss is the Blue Beetle put out his first reactions, and now let me say this: I'm really excited for Blue Beetle. I think this movie has looked great. The trailers looks really fun, and the reactions are actually really positive for this movie. So I love hearing that. Now again, these are first reactions, so a lot of times first reactions will be really good, and the second reactions won't be as positive. But the reactions are saying that it's funny, it's fun, it has great action scenes. From the trailers, it looks like it has really good action. I love the practical suit. I love that shot with him using the sword, making a big sword in one trailer. It kind of has like an anime, as an anime nod. But I think the assets look great from the trailers. I love the fact this is most importantly. I love the fact that we asked them instead it does a great job with the family aspect because I think one of the things I would separate Blue Beetle from other superhero movies that is the idea that the family are in it from the start of it, which I love that. I love the fact that we're also saying the family is a big highlight. Saying Jules Lopez stands out as that he's the standout in the cast. From what it sounds like, the main actor is great as Blue Beetle. Sounds like the whole cast is great. The only negatives I heard with the first reaction is that it's a little silly at times, and one reaction saying it starts off wacky, but it gets really good as it goes along. But most of the reaction is really good, so I'm happy to hear this, and I hope Blue Beetle turns out to be a fun, great movie, like the reactions are saying. The next thing I want to discuss is the news that the script for As of Tomorrow 2 is completed. Like Emily Bush said, the script is done, and they're just waiting for Tom Cruise to be done as Mission Impossible movie. And I'm excited to hear this because the sequel to As of Tomorrow has been in development for years. And if you haven't seen the first As of Tomorrow movie, go and watch that. That's a great movie. It's one of my favorite Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt movies. And I remember when that movie came out, it didn't do well. Like it did okay at the box office. It made over 300 on a 100 something budget, but it wasn't. It deserved to do so much better, in my opinion. So I hope the sequel happens because I would love to see a sequel. That's all the movies today. Until next time, movie fans.